Hey everyone, it's Jay again, and I had planned on making a For Honor video today, so I apologize to anyone who was expecting a For Honor video today, because, honestly, I was planning on making it, so, yeah, sorry about that. I'm just gonna be honest with you, I'm really tired today, and I just didn't feel like fighting through the realistic mode, and, oh boy, and then recording like an hour's worth of footage and trying to chop it down into 30 minutes and stuff like that. And I just didn't feel like, and then, and even though I love the whole comment idea that I started doing, I'm just tired tonight, and I just didn't want to, find the comments, screenshot them, post them in the video where they're supposed to be, and after doing all the recording and everything, and I know it's lazy, but this is just so much easier for me. And also, people have been asking for another Miscrits video recently, so figured I'd make one. But there's another reason why, even though I probably could have done this with, well, maybe, I don't know. I was gonna say I probably could have done this with For Honor, but it really depends on who I was fighting. Maybe if I was doing some, like, Dominion or skirmishes against AI, I probably could have made this type of video, but I don't have to think in Miscrits, so I guess that's why I'm doing it here. Anyway, basically, I wanted to talk about what's been going on with me recently, and whoo boy, okay, so where do I even begin? Because it is a roller coaster of a story. So I guess I'll start back in November. As you guys know, shortly after my oldest brother's, 37th birthday, shortly after he passed away. He turned 37 years old, and I think he passed away roughly a week or 10 days later. And that's been hard on my family a lot, especially my mom. Our mom, we had the same mother, different fathers, but we had the same mother, and she's been taking it really hard, and this is only scratching the surface of everything. This is 5 months ago that I'm talking now, so man, it's hard for me to even keep track of everything. So I'm just gonna say what's been going on. And if I remember anything else, I'll go backtrack. So this story might be kind of confusing, kind of complicated, and I apologize about that. I'll try my best to keep it as clear as possible. Anyway, so my mom, after losing her son, I think I'm using the wrong. I am using the wrong elite sire. Why am I using the wrong one? That's really weird. I'll fix that in a second. Anyway, as I was saying, my mom got into a car accident shortly after, in the beginning of December. So just a week or two after. Oh wait, no, this is wrong. She got in the car accident before my brother passed away. She got in the car accident back in August. That's right. Man, I am so much stuff has been going on recently that even I'm confusing my own stories. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. First of all, let me just use virtue. I don't care. I never use the virtue anyway. Yeah, you. Anyway, so good news about the car accident is that she first of all, the doctor told her that she had to put a boot on, this plastic special walking boot, and she's been wearing that for 6 months, and the doctors only told her that she would have to wear it for 2 months maximum before her foot healed, and basically her foot never healed. And she has been going back and forth to the doctors, And finally, earlier today, they did surgery on her foot, and it was 100% successful. She's perfectly fine now. She still can't walk right, but they told her that give it 10 days. They said give it 7 to 10 days, and you should be able to put your shoes on normally and walk normally and everything like that. They said, of course, no running, but anyway, so that's really good news. Back in January, no, back in December, I started working in a new property. Because if people don't know, I work for apartment complexes, and my cup just fell off the table because I moved it. Work. I am so sorry. I know this video is kind of weird, but I am just exhausted. I am so tired, and I'll get to that in a second here. That's coming up. So, I started working in a new property, and I really like this new property that I'm working at. I'm working with a great supervisor. I'm working with a manager that I worked with before at another property. And the property it's not too hard. It's not easy, but it's not too hard. And I have a good. I work really well with my supervisor, and he's not like ridiculous. I've worked at some properties where the supervisor I worked with, I won't mention any names or anything like that, but I've had properties where I worked at where the supervisor I worked with was just like so power hungry, and he was just like, he's basically gives me the stuff that he doesn't want to do, the stuff that is too time consuming for him, or too physical labory, well, I don't want to give any specific examples because if I doubt they'll watch my videos, but just on the off chance something like that happens, I want to be protected. So basically, I'll say I've worked with some people that were not very good to work with, and in fact, quite difficult to work with. Oh man, there's one in particular that I thought of that just now that I remember. Oh boy, he made every day that I was there, every single day that I was there, he made my life harder every single day. I'm so glad that I don't work for that person anymore. I don't even know why. He just hated me for some reason. And saying he doesn't change anything, since I've always worked under a male supervisor. I've never worked under a female supervisor, so that doesn't give anything away. Anyway, well, like I said, back in December, it was actually shortly after my brother passed away, because it was the end of November. I started working at this new property, and I'm really happy at this new property. It's a bit of a drive from me, but the property itself and the people that I'm working with will make up for the fact that it's kind of a long drive. Well, something happened where basically my manager saw that I was working hard, and this is my manager, not my supervisor. My managers have mostly been female, and I think, actually, yeah, almost all of them have been women. And the one I'm working right now is a girl. Anyway, and she's awesome. And she basically came to me and she was like, hey, I see that you're working really hard, and I really appreciate the fact that you're working really hard, and I want to do something for you. And I said, yeah, what's that? And she was like, there is this class coming up in the middle of February, and if you pass, study hard and pass this class, there's a very good chance you could get a pay raise and possibly be promoted even. And I was like, wow, that is awesome. That is the best news I've heard in a long time. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. Yes, please. I would be more than happy to take this class. So, she signed me up, and the class was on February the 22nd, I think it was. Now I don't remember, actually. I think it wasn't that long ago. It was like, yeah. Anyway, I want to look at my calendar, but I don't want the calendar to pop up in the video, so I won't. Anyway, so, before the class came up, I was going out to dinner with a friend of mine, and a cop pulled me over, and I was like, "Oh no, what could this be?" And he pulled me over, and he was like, "Did you know your tags are expired?" And I was like, "Oh, I did not. I'm really sorry, officer. Thank you for telling me. I really appreciate it. I will get them fixed as soon as I can. Thank you for letting me know, because I don't want to drive with expired tags." And actually, that was the last day I drove that car, because I was like, I can't drive with expired tags. And he gave me a ticket anyway. He was like, I'm still writing you up, and I'm still giving you a ticket. And I was like, "Can you please not?" And he was like, "No, I'm giving you a ticket anyway." And I was like, "Okay, thanks." But what ended up happening was my court date ended up being on the exact same day as the class. In fact, exact same time. They're both at the same day, same time. And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" So I contact my work, and I contact higher than my manager, and I go, "Hey, what would happen if I, missed this class?" And they were like, "Well, we're not going to pay for it again, so you better not miss this class." And I was like, "Oh boy." And I called the court, and I asked them, how do I change my court date? If I can, if that's even possible. Actually, first, before I called them and asked them if I could change my court date, I was like, "Can I just pay a fine?" I was like, "I'll just pay whatever I owe. I mean, it can't be that much, right? For an expired tag, I mean, they can't be that expensive, right? What, $100, $170? Like, what? How much could this possibly be?" And they were like, "No, you cannot pay a fine. You must show up in court." And so I was like, "Well, can I change the court date?" And they're like, "Well, yes, you can actually change the court date." And I said, "How do I do that?" And they said, "You submit a request, a reschedule request." And I was like, "Okay, I'll do that." And so it took me a while to figure it out, and I finally figured out how to do it. And I sent in the reschedule request, and I didn't hear anything. And I didn't hear anything. And I didn't hear anything. And I tried calling them, and I didn't hear anything until finally, the day before both the class and the court date. I am so stressed. I am pulling my hair out of my head. I'm like, "Oh my God," I'm so stressed, because I'm like, "What do I do? What do I do? I have to go to court, but I have to go to class." And I was freaking out. Finally, I called them again, and I finally got a hold of somebody. And I was like, "Hey, did you guys get my reschedule requests?" And they said, "Yes, we did get your reschedule requests." And I said, "Great. Oh, my goodness, this is the best news I've heard in like 2 weeks. Oh, man, please tell me what was the result." And they said, "We'll let you know Thursday." And I was like, "But it's Tuesday." And they're like, "Yeah." And I was like, "And tomorrow is Wednesday." And they're like, "Correct, yes. Wednesday follows after Tuesday." And I was like, No. I obviously, but like, the court date is tomorrow, is Wednesday. I mean, how am I gonna know if it's rescheduled on Thursday if it's going on, if the day I need to be there is Wednesday? Like, what?" And they were like, "Well, what happens is the reschedule request goes in your place. It goes to court for you, and then they either accept it or decline it there, and then you'll know the results of that the day after." And I said, "Okay, I guess, sure. So what happens if it gets accepted?" And they said, well, if it gets accepted, then your court date is moved, and you can call us on that day, and we'll tell you when and when and where it was moved to, or just when it was moved to. And that's it. And then you just show up that day. And I said, okay, what if it's rejected? And they said, if it's rejected, we put a warrant out for your arrest, and your license is suspended. And I said, oh boy. Okay, that is terrifying. Can I just show up? Can I just come? And they said, you can. You can if you'd like to just show up. You being there will negate the will negate the reschedule request, obviously, and you just come and take care of the situation. And I said, okay, I think I'll do that. And I called my dad, because when in doubt, call your parents. And I called my dad, and I was like, Dad, here's what's going on. I told him everything, and I was like, what do I do? And he went, go to the class. And I said, are you sure? What about the court date? He goes, it's just a tag. I'm sure they'll reschedule your request. Don't worry about it. Just go, study, take the class, do well in the class. And I said, okay. And I took my dad's word, and I went, and I took the class, and I studied hard, and I hope I did well. My results have not come back yet, but my class was rescheduled. So, not my class, my court date was rescheduled. So, I'm going now on April 19th is the date of the new court date. So, this has been going on. While this has been going on, I have been handling situations with my vehicle. So, I was trying to buy a new car, and I was looking. And finally, a friend of mine, really good friend, really close, awesome, cool friend, called me up, and she was like, hey, my aunt is selling a car, and she's selling it for $3,000. And I said, okay, that's a bit out of my price range. How many miles and what is it? She's like, okay, it's a Toyota Corolla, 2008 Toyota Corolla, and it has 100,000 miles on it, and it's a brand new engine, brand new radiator, brand new battery, brand new tires, brand new brakes, like brand new everything. It's pretty much a brand new car, but just made in 2008. And I was like, that sounds awesome. And 100,000 miles is pretty good. She was like, yeah, it's been barely driven. And I was like, yeah, I mean, that's that's almost a decade from, that's 9 years, and it still has 100,000 miles on it. That's crazy. I mean, I've had my car for 5 years or something like that, and I've put over 100,000 miles on it. Well, almost. I put 81,000 miles on it. Anyway, so I was like, well, let me know if the price drops. Let me know if she, thinks it's, can get a better price. And so she's working with them, and she's talking to her dad, because they're not brother and sister, they're actually sister-in-law, brother-in-law. And she's talking to her dad, she's talking to her mom. It's actually her mom's sister. And they're trying to work out a deal, and this guy comes up, and he's like, hey, if you give me 4 days, I will buy it for $2,700, and I'll come there and write you a check. And she and my friend called me and told me that, and I was like, how about this? You give your aunt a call back and tell her if I give her $2,300 cash right then, and I'll do it this weekend, will she sell it to me instead? And she called, and her aunt said yes, and I went and took a bus to Savannah and drove up and bought the car for $2,300. Well, now I'm in debt because I didn't have $2,300. I had to borrow the money from someone to be able to buy the car. And so I decided to get some of that money back. I would sell my old car, the Toyota Camry that I'm not driving anymore. So I went and I'm getting distracted by Miscrits here. Why can't I pick up these when I could earlier? And that's where I can get that one though. Anyway, so I found this guy, and I wanted to sell. I wanted to sell the car for no less than $700. No less than 700. I figured 700 would be. I mean, it's not in great shape, but it's definitely not in terrible shape. It's definitely not in bad shape. I mean, it's still very drivable. I drive it all. I mean, I did drive it all the time. I literally drove it almost every single day. So it's definitely worth the money. I find this guy, and I tell I tell my supervisor that, and this guy shows up to work to put up a sign, and he goes, my supervisor goes up to this guy and goes, "Hey, how would you like to buy this Camry?" Because I was there and I had the car there, and he was like, "Sure, how much?" And he goes, $800. And that's actually 100 more than I was asking for. And I was like, "Oh, okay, that's surprising, but sure, go. I want to see where this goes." And the guy goes, I don't know, 800 is a bit much. How about 700? And I jumped in and I went, "Deal, I will take 700 for it." Which is funny because that was how much I wanted for it. So it worked out pretty well. However, the problem is I haven't heard from him in a long time. In fact, I actually called him today, and he didn't answer. And I spoke to him briefly, and he was like, "Hey, what's going on?" And I was like, "Yeah, about the car. Are you still interested? Or do you still want to buy it?" And he was like, "How about this? Let me give you a call back at 6:30, and we'll talk more about it then, because I'm a worker now." And I was like, "Okay, sure." And 6:30 rolled around, and he didn't call me. So don't really know what's been going on there. Anyway, so yeah, lots been going on. I was alone Valentine's Day. I really tried to talk to someone, any girl, really. I tried to talk to someone. I don't know. I was really sad. And I was alone last year for Valentine's Day. I wasn't alone the year before that. But, I don't know, it just hurt for some reason this year to be alone. And I just didn't want to be alone. And I was. And I actually even tried, like, there's this friend, and I know she has a boyfriend, and she actually lives with her boyfriend. And I was just like, I contacted her, and I was like, "Hey, I know you're busy and stuff, but if you could just make some time for me on Valentine's Day, just sometimes, I don't want anything, I don't need anything, I just don't want to be alone. I just want to talk. Can we just talk?" And she was like, "Yeah, I'll see what I can do. I mean, but I don't think that would be a problem." And I was like, "Thanks, that would be awesome." And she got too busy. I don't know what she did. I guess she was just spending time with a boyfriend. I don't know. But she was too busy to spend time with me, and I tried calling like 2 or 3 other girls, and I just nothing. I was just alone, and I couldn't sleep that night. And I just kind of stayed awake until like 2:30 in the morning, just staring at my screen. And what's worse is I'm pretty sure that was a work day, and I got to work super tired. Oh, that reminds me of the kind of the reason why I started this whole thing. Why I'm so tired. So, speaking of surgery, so my mom had her foot surgery today. Well, my supervisor also went into surgery today. Don't worry, he's perfectly fine. He had surgery on his back, and but because it was such an important area, the back is super important. He won't be able to make it back into work for a while. In fact, he's gone all this week pretty much. He was there briefly at the end of Monday, and then, like, seriously, I saw him at like 2:30. He showed up, and then I left at 4 o'clock. So he was only there for like an hour and a half while I was there. Anyway, so he's been gone. He was gone Tuesday, and he was gone today, Wednesday, and actually this video is going to go up Thursday, and he'll be gone Thursday, and he'll be gone Friday. this and this might not sound like a problem to anybody who's listening. You might go, okay, so he's gone. All right, what does that mean? Well, that means I have to do everything by myself. And the property that I work at, it's on the verge of like 2.5. All right. Basically, how the apartment complexes work is roughly every 100 apartments, you are supposed to have one person. That's not the best judgment call in my personal opinion, but that's how the company I work for does it. Well, at least that's what I was told. I could be wrong. I could be mistaken, so don't take my word on it. But basically, that's what I was told. So, and when we're pretty close to that 2.5 mark with the property, so we're close to like a 3-person job. We can handle it with 2 people. It's hard with 2 people, but it's definitely doable. Well, now we have just 1 person, just me, and on top of that, I am not as experienced as my supervisor. That's why he's the supervisor and I'm not. And it's not easy. It's not easy, and that's actually why I'm so tired. It's because it's a lot of work, and I am pushing myself, but I'm not complaining about it. In fact, I'm taking it as a challenge to push myself to that supervisor level, because I want to be a supervisor eventually. So the best way to do that is what I'm doing now, and that is doing the work a supervisor would do and taking care of a property by yourself. Now, usually a supervisor would have people underneath him that he could delegate work to, but of course, at the end of the day, the supervisor is the one who has all the responsibility and has to make sure that everything is taken care of. So while my supervisor is out, that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to make sure everything is 100% and taken care of. So, anyway, it's just not easy. It's just a lot of work, and anyway. I guess briefly I'll talk about my mom again, real quick. So she has had difficulty mentally and emotionally with my loss of my brother and her oldest son, her first child, her first son. I mean, I can't even imagine. I mean, I can't imagine. It's so insane to me to think. I can't even fathom it. How difficult it must be for her. Well, one of the things that she basically wants, because because of this, is basically she wants to spend as much time with me as possible. So she was here for a while in January, I think. Actually, she was here for a while, like a long time. She was here for Christmas, and then she was here for New Year's, and she was here for most of January, and I think she only left 2 weeks ago, or 3 maybe. I don't really remember. And it's funny because she's already talking about coming back, and she's already saying, "Oh, I can't wait to see you again, and can't wait to spend time with you," and stuff like that. And I love my mom, I do, and love her with all my heart. But I had to enjoy my alone time, and it's hard to get that, especially because I want to spend time with her as well. She's my mother, I want to, and she wants to spend time with me, and I don't want to, just be like, nah. But at the same time, I have my job, and then I have my friends, and I have my YouTube videos, and at the same time, trying to spend time with her. So she's not here right now, though. So anyway, I feel really awkward right now, and it's I don't know. Anyway, I figured this would give me a good reason to, one, get a whole bunch of stuff off my chest, and two, to level up a whole bunch of Miscrits. To be honest, I probably should have done this with a Ninja Saga video, not a Miscrits video, now that I think about it, because I don't really care too much about my Miscrits anymore. If they don't level up anymore, I'm happy. I have an awesome team already. I don't really think I need a better team. Even if I do get a better team, I have to relic them, and by the time I relic them, they might have better Miscrits out, so it's almost like, what's the point even? But with Ninja Saga, I could always level up my character Jay to 100, and then he would be 100, and that'd be the max level, and it's probably going to be the max level for a long time. And it's a lot easier to, just get new jutsus and change your character than it is to, like, start a new character and get it all the way up again. But, I don't know. Playing Miscrits anyway. Oh, boy. Anyway, I know I feel like... Anyway. I'm going to go ahead and end the video here in a second. I forgot to level up my guy. Bam. It's just a really strong hit. I'm so glad I changed my Elite Sires out. Okay, so was that enough to level him up? I think it was. Right? Yeah, it was. Okay. So, level... I don't know why I'm extra training these guys. I mean, I guess I should extra train him. But is it worth extra training this guy? I mean, I guess I've already gotten him almost halfway extra trained, so I might as well keep going at this point. But I don't know if you know it's worth it. Sorry, so I'm going to use my Virtue. Wow, I didn't realize how much Virtue I had saved up. How long have I been recording for? Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, watch my For Honor videos, because they're good. And I'll catch you guys next time. Later.